But like the best question to, oh, we're live now, yeah.
Are we live?
Who's that cutting and scratching, yeah?
Say hell yeah! If y'all really like to rock the funky beats, the funky
Lockley, thank you so much for the subscription.
Fly, boss, walk, jam, nitty gritty. You're listening to the boy from the big bad city. This is jam, Tank, fly, boss, walk, jam, nitty gritty. You're listening to the boy from the big bad city. This is jam,
Put your fucking hands up, put your fucking hands up, put your fucking hands up. This the fucking anthem. Fucking anthem. Fucking anthem.
Alright, you know what
Fucking anthem. Fucking anthem.
break it down. Yeah. I got the wow
You know what we'll do? We'll just introduce the guests instead of the intro. 5-minute countdown. So I want to welcome you all to the show today. We've got some special guests. Initially from Sofia in Bulgaria, now based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, as of 2 days ago, I think it was. Welcome, welcome, welcome. He started actually DJing in 2013 and was inspired to start cutting and scratching by listening to music tracks, and was last year's DMC World Foundation champion. Welcome, DJ DELightfull. Nice to see you. Yo.
Nice to be here. Yeah, 2 weeks, not 2 days, 2 weeks.
2
Very
weeks.
new to Kuala Lumpur.
Wow. And our second guest, based in Auckland, New Zealand. He's New Zealand's DMC DJ champion. Competed in the World DMC in 2004, and currently he's on Twitch right now at twitch.tv/DJ Manchu. Good to have you here as well, Manchu.
That's good. Thanks for having me.
So I've got a whole plethora of questions, and you know, I wanted to start with this, right? Like the beginnings, the early beginnings. Tell me about your earliest memory of a DJ, please, DELightfull.
My earliest memory. Sorry, can you say that again?
Yep. Tell me about your earliest memory of a DJ. Like, who was the first DJ that you'd ever seen? And was he like a party rocking DJ that just played music, or was he like a scratch DJ?
That's kind of funny because, okay, so basically I'm born in '93, and in Bulgaria that meant growing up without the internet, but then having internet in teenagehood. That's the main like kind of thing I wanna start up with. didn't really have any technology and any of these toys that kids have now growing up. But by the time I became a hip hop fan, I already had internet and shit was on YouTube. And I think I probably saw a DJ online on videos before I saw a DJ live. And then the next thing is, at the time, we could still go to clubs way before we were 18. So the first parties I attended were rap concerts and drum and bass parties. Because DJing-wise, the electronic scene was and still is way bigger than anything else in the area. So it's kind of a mixture because it's not like I went to hip hop club nights or stuff like that. I went to a Das Effect concert when I was 12, not yet 13. And I went to my first drum and bass party when I was probably 14 or 15. And first DJ live might as well have been the Das Effect tour DJ. So these are two completely different things because I enjoy drum and bass for what it was, but that has nothing to do with what I do now in a way. And I was enjoying the music and the kind of event that it was and wasn't thinking that much about, oh, look, this guy's hitting his set, you know. But as far as the hip hop thing is concerned, all these classic groups that were coming to Bulgaria and Eastern Europe for the very first time at the time, these Balkans and the southern part of Eastern Europe, they were coming with their DJs, obviously, and witnessing those guys like that was kind of spectacular. And I didn't understand what was going on because we didn't have kind of subculture and background. And, you know, these guys were doing their routine in the middle of the concert, wherever they decided to place it within the whole set, and they were doing beat juggling and stuff. I didn't understand what was going on at all. So, yeah. I could have answered in a shorter way too, but yeah, it was all very mixed up at the time, so that's what I'm trying to convey with this answer. And the first time I've been the Das Effect DJ.
Nice. Manchu, same question to you. I mean, I meant to ask you actually, Manchu, when did you start DJing?
So that would have been like 91. So it was a very long time ago.
Yeah, man.
But not really, you know, doing what I do now. Kind of like just, you know,
Party rocking.
I'm not even that. Like, you know, like my mate's older brothers were DJing, so you know, so we were allowed to have a little turn on his gear now and then, you know. But kind of when I first saw the DJ, it was at my sister's birthday, and so it's like her boyfriend, who's her husband now, like been married for years now, like he was kind of like the man back in the day. So he had friends who were DJs, and just so I was always around that kind of thing. And so when she had a DJ at her birthday, I was just kind of like, I was hooked. I was like, whoa, that is so cool. And I remember he had the 212s, he had a BVL mixer, and I was just like, holy. So that was like my first kind of real thing about seeing the DJ live, and yeah, I was hooked from then. So yeah.
And what was the earliest time at which you kind of saw like a scratching DJ, and you started to be fascinated with that?
So my sister, again, she was a big influence of all this. She brought home the 91 USA DMC tape, and so I watched that. And I remember Baby G was on there, and there was all these other guys. And who's
91?
Yeah, Steve D.
Steve D. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Was that the one where Steve D. he lost when he should have really won?
Yeah, I think Baby G won it. And it was kind of like
that's right. Yeah. And it was a big thing about it. Yeah.
Because like what he did was amazing. You know, when I saw it, I was like,
Well, he basically the beat juggling.
Yeah.
That he was the foundation for the beat juggling. Wow.
Yeah. So seeing all that, from then on, I was like, yo, you know, scratching is what I want to do and all that. And yeah, I've been doing it ever since.
Nice. Close up. Next question. Okay, so I think, let's have a look. He's on mute. Right, there, try that now. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
That's it. You guys weren't just ignoring him that whole time. I was
No.
yapping the whole time. I'm just kidding. I was thinking about this next question, more so, well, for both of you, but DELightfull got me thinking when you were talking about how, you had a little bit of drum and bass exposure and you had that DOS Effects concert and, both hit a little bit different. What is it, I guess, when you're watching the DJ from one scene versus another, what caught your attention? Like about the art form, I guess. Was it like the DOS Effects DJ that was like, oh, okay, I can see what he's doing there. Why is he moving all those things back and forth? Or was it the drum and bass DJ being like, how does he make this sound so beautiful together? Was it either of those, neither of those? Yeah, that's my question.
I think it was mostly just being a hip hop head, and it came with a little bit more understanding, I guess, because I was discovering the classics from 80s and 90s, and I was a lot into that, talking about hip hop right now. And then I started paying a little more attention to those scratches, definitely Terminator X and Public Enemy and Primo and Gangstar joints, classic stuff, And the more I got into it, the more I started watching also hip hop documentaries, and the DJ was often mentioned, and then it came to the scratch documentary, and it was kind of that was it right there for me. And because of that, I started YouTubing DMC championships, still from the 90s. I remember just completely bugging out here with this routine for the first time. Like, oh shit, what is this? I need to learn how to do that. But that was kind of later on. So I'm talking a few years after I started going out and hearing DJs at parties. So I guess it was definitely scratching in hip hop tracks, and then because of that, watching films, and because of that, beginning to actually look up turntablism videos on YouTube at the time. There weren't that many, but there were some. And then I thought, I want to learn how to scratch. I bought my first pair of turntables with the idea that I'll be scratching, not with the idea that I'll be DJing,
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think I definitely had the similar bug when I was younger. So I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't about, mixing the songs together. It was like, how can I make this scratch sound awesome, just like that guy on TV? So I totally get what you're saying. Manch, the same question to you, and I will say to you, thank you for waking up for us. I apologize. We're on our evening time. We are not having to wake up for this, so I'm very, very sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I mean, I never got into the kind of like the drum and bass stuff as a DJ. It was more like if I heard something, like a drum and bass track, I'll be like, oh, how can I flip it, in like a turntable sense. It was never really about the music on that kind of sense, I was always, and like even with like all the old school stuff, like Grandmaster Flash and all that, like I didn't really know all of that stuff until I started buying battle records and stuff. So, and then, finding out all those old school samples that I had no idea came from all these old school songs. So I kind of, it's I guess, I don't even think I answered the question.
No. I think you did.
I kind of went off on my own buzz there.
No, there'll be plenty of that. In fact, it's good that you're answering the questions and not.
Yeah, I just think
that would be every answer for me.
Like I had no kind of separation from what a drum and bass DJ or a hip hop DJ. I was just all around mobile DJs who played everything, and some of them scratched and some of them beat juggled, So I just grabbed influences from all of that. So
very safe to say you're probably a musical, like a young music head. Both. Yeah. Growing up, like it was your thing, because I know for me it was everything.
Yeah, I mean, I was a teenager when like Illmatic came out and all that, and it was one of my favorite albums of all time. And like I grew up in that '90s era. That was that was our era.
DELightfull. Did you have any favorite turntablists from your early days when you were starting out? Like guys that you looked up to, guys that you would watch their videos a lot and take cues from them and learn from them, and any favorites that you can think of?
When I was starting out, definitely
How long do we got?
Executioners, Babu. I mean, to this day, most of the names I will mention are still inspiration to this day because they keep on rocking it and they keep on doing amazing stuff. But when I was starting out, definitely Executioners, Team and Solo, and Babu and Beat Junkies, Team and Solo. And thinking about people who were winning stuff at the time, I really liked what JFB was doing. I still didn't understand how that worked, but I remember watching JFB and being super impressed. And also Vect, because me starting out, we're talking about like 2013, that's the Vect era in a way, and a year later was the Freshens together with Brace. And I discovered DJ Woody at the time as well, who is to this day one of my top 3 turntablists of all time, pretty much. Yeah, so those were the main people.
Manchu, you coming from like a different generation.
Yeah.
Who were the guys that inspired you? And I mean, there were some tons of amazing DJs in New Zealand and Auckland and that. So, were you inspired by international guys or?
Yeah, definitely. So, Babu as well, awesome. Beat Junkies, Vinrock from 5th Platoon, and even guys like Tiger Style, I Emerge. Like I Emerge. Like, where is that guy? Like, he was just an amazing turntablist, like the most aggressive dude I've ever seen on turntables, And who else was there? Craze always, those routines from 2000, 98, 99, just to this day now they're still dope. Who else did I put? Craze, P-Trix as well. A-Track. I got a tour with A-Track, which was cool, and that guy is just on another level, man. Just really out of it, but really cool guy, probably just all the older guys. So like, even like the new guys now, like Rafik. Oh, well, he's not new, but Rafik was like when I first saw him come out. When I battled him in the ITF, it was kind of like holy, like because I knew he was before then, so to actually have a battle with him was really cool. I think just all the European DJs right now are just killing it. Chin Machine, like he doesn't do much at all, but he's got the meanest cuts. So I still, I still love it for what turntablism is, and I think a lot of, well, for me, I personally think a lot of the old school DJs don't kind of do that. They don't appreciate all the new school stuff that's coming out. Whereas, like, I think if you're a turntablist, that's part of what it is. It evolves, and you just have to be there with it.
Perfect.
Another tangent, sorry.
No.
Special shout out to DJ Diamond Lee from DJs United on Twitch, as well as DMC. Glad to see you guys come through. Close up?
Yeah, it's me. Okay, so we talked about turntablism, DJs, turntablist DJs. What about more of a party rocker DJ? Like if you had to pick your favorite under the turntablist category versus one other, just a party DJ, or do you mix them together?
I'd go Craze.
Like right now or some years ago?
A little bit of both. Yeah.
A little bit of both. I like Miles Medina a lot from the around dope guys.
I missed that.
And
who was it?
Miles Medina.
Oh, Miles Medina killed it. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I was watching him last night. Crazy.
Of course, Jeff, Scratch Bass. That comes on top of my head when I think about people who are killing it and have been consistently killing it and are proficient tablists, but know how to rock any kind of party, really. And then ease, trapment, people like that, I dig what they do. And back then, I wasn't even thinking, I was just watching battles and scratch videos now. If it wasn't battles and routines, it would have been like Kid Koala or Cut Kennis and Shadow Brainface and stuff like that. I wasn't really checking out who's doing well on the club scene. I didn't care about that at all. I still don't do that much, but back then it was just turntablism strictly.
Great. Awesome answer, man. Manchu, to you.
I would pick Craze only because I've seen him live a few times now, and like I never like I've heard him say he would play like a drum and bass track, blah blah blah, and he'd do something else, and then I heard him play like CC Peniston, and which was like, hey, and it kind of buzzes me out because I've like to know him as a turntablist, but he's he actually plays just he just plays, and it's real nice to hear, and that's what buzzed me out, like and that's why like I really appreciate how he plays, because he just drops tracks that you would never think that he would play, or like it's like, oh my god, he's got that in his playlist.
Yeah, that to me is one of some of the greatest DJs. Will throw something like a complete surprise at you, and you're like, you just made me dance to Spice Girls or whatever the track might be.
Exactly,
right?
and like my thinking is like, if I played that, I would have got bottled,
Yeah.
And this guy played it, and like 500 people screamed like, I was like, oh my god.
No, absolutely. It's funny when we talk about that, because we talk about turntablist DJs and party DJs and where it falls for each person. And DELightfull, you mentioned Jazzy and Scratch Bass, and the people that we're hearing a lot of these days. And they said, I always find they do a good job of mixing the both of them together. They show you what they can do, but their selection is just bonkers. And track after track, you're like, let's party, and then you're like, oh, but I'll also jam out to that little scratch routine for about 15 minutes and drop my jaw to the ground.
Yeah,
so it's a nice combo.
Yeah, all I remember when I was watching one of the routines that he was doing, and someone came up and requested a song from him right in the middle of that routine. I wonder what she requested. I was thinking it was Macarena or something. You remember that?
Yeah, I was there. Was that at the
So he's playing a festival, and right in the middle of it, some chick just comes up and asks him, "Can you play this?" And I swear it was Macarena or something like that.
Probably, jeez.
Some people just don't get it.
I wanted to do an equipment check. So when you first started DELightfull, what equipment did you first start out with? I was trying to see if I could find a video with your early equipment.
Oh, I think I deleted most of my early videos, thankfully. Maybe there's still something there, but hopefully not. You remind me that I need to double check. People don't want to see my old videos. I started on a pair of Stanton T60s, so they're plastic case, basic, but still direct drive turntables. And I bought these with high school savings, basically, right after finishing high school. And my first mixer was something I borrowed from a friend. It was like a $25 Behringer. It was extremely crap. And then the first one I bought for myself was a Newmark X5, which is really okay 2-channel mixer with decent cut-in points to practice. For the crossfader, I mean. So yeah, I guess it was pretty basic, but still decent enough.
Manchu, I'm scared to ask you this question, man.
What did I have? I had a pair of Vestax, and I think.
Did you have a Vestax, really?
Yeah, and I think I started with the 05. I mean, because way before then, my mate who was a mobile DJ, he would always give me his gear like after his gigs, and like that was just a BVL mixer, so I learned how to scratch and all that on a BVL. But then when I got my own gear, it was a Vestax set.
No BVL mixer for Manchu. No.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta jump in. I had Geminis, man. This is horrible. I remember there was a place called Daddy's Music in New York, and you went there, and it was literally 2 belt-driven Gemini turntables.
Yeah.
And the small 2-channel mixer you ever seen in your life, and that's what it all started. It was like $225. You had to put pennies on the top of it so the needle didn't jump. It was insane. Oh,
it was kind of like the BVL mixer. It looked like a piece of furniture, you know?
Exactly.
I remember that, yeah. And you only had like a switch, and the fader was really crap.
Yeah. So what we did was we put like little metal things across the transform switch, so it made it smaller.
Yeah.
And my mate managed to do it so it could bounce back, and that's how we learned how to transform.
I put like you in my life.
So just had So it was just Vestax in 05. Then I did the 05, 06, 07, and then moved over to Rain. And then now I'm with Pioneer.
You use Pioneer now?
Yeah. So I'm actually like happy that Pioneer sponsored me here in New Zealand. So they gave me a whole Pioneer setup, which was pretty cool. So big thanks to Pat there from Pioneer.
Heck yeah. Big shouts if you're listening. We like you here too in Canada. What about you, Delightful? What are you rocking now?
I'm on the S9, and I've been thinking about S11 perhaps. And as far as turntables, I'm doing super romance. I had a pair of Vestaxes, but I sold them after they were just beaten up completely. And I can't go back to things these days. I know that's blasphemy for a lot of the older DJs, but to me, any variation of the Super OEM. And if I had to buy anything different, it would be either the Reloop 8000 or a Vestax. But if it's a Vestax, I would buy the PDX 3000. And they're rare to get these days. But yeah, right now I have a pair of Super OEMs and Pioneer S9.
Nice. So Pioneer, if you're listening, we have another candidate available for you to, sponsor.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. By the way, sorry, I will disappear just for a minute because I need to plug this device because it will die very soon, the battery. But I'll be back very, very soon. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah. No worries.
Right, now he's gone. Let's talk about him.
Yes.
Man. Manchu, what do you think about all the new equipment that's come out now?
Oh man.
Actually, now that he's gone, I want to ask you this question. Right.
Here we go.
Is DJing easier now with all the technological advancements?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
No?
it makes it. I think it makes you a more not a better DJ, just a more organized DJ. A bit more quicker to use. But yeah, I mean the factors are still there that you still have to practice. You still got to learn how to mix. You still got to learn how to scratch if you want to scratch. But I've always told people that if you learn how to scratch, then it'll make your mixing a lot better because it's all about timing. But yeah, I just think that I just don't want to get kind of lost with all the new equipment. I kind of Pioneer gave me the S11 from I did S9, and then they swapped it out for the S11, which is cool. It still doesn't make me a better DJ; it just makes me more efficient DJ. I can do things a lot quicker. Sometimes even too quick, and then I get lost myself. So,
Well, then we add stems into the mix now, and just why not?
Oh yeah.
Google Sorella stems, and you're all set.
Well, yeah, exactly. Even the stems one is, I mean, it's cool, but yeah, I love it. I love it because all the acapellas that I couldn't get now, I'm mucking around with them now. So but I like all the new gear that comes out, all the new software. I don't want to go too crazy with it. People buy 7 mixes and they still do the same thing. It's like what's the point? I kind of just pick and choose what I want and what suits me and what I'm doing. So yeah, all good.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
There he is.
Yeah,
There he is.
I'm back.
Close up. Next question.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, let me just. Sorry, I got lost in all the questions and I forgot where we were at. Okay, I'm gonna ask a bit of a curveball to DELightfull. How has the equipment changed since you started? Like how, in terms of evolved? Like has it what you started on versus what's available to you now? Or has it at all? I mean,
Okay, so when I was starting up, the Range 62 was already out there, and people were using it to the fullest and doing very creative stuff with it. That wasn't possible before. But when people were doing that, I was figuring out what's EQ and what's channel fader. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I had to be catching up with. I mean, the first few months, obviously, how gear works, what it does, what it can do, what are different mixers, what are different tables. So, to me, it was a different process because I was seeing all these things coming up, and I was like, wait, let me know my gear first and think about your gear when I can afford it and when it makes sense to actually buy it because I will know I use it. But the change has been huge. I think from the perspective of the club scene, these controllers that are very reliable and very motivational have been the biggest game changer. And then for people who are strict turntables and are in countries that don't have tradition in that, the controllers are a pain in the ass, honestly, because club owners and promoters don't understand why you wouldn't want to rock the controller, why you would want different gear. I get sometimes gig invites for which I say, I'll bring down my turntables. And they say, no, you can't change what's there. You know. So controllers have changed a lot of things generally, I suppose.
I hear you on that one. Menchu, same to you.
Yeah, I agree with the controllers. I tend to stay away from the clubs now. Like Twitch is where I'm at now, and where it's more comfortable for me. But yeah, I totally get what DELightfull means. How you go to clubs and you can't use your turntables, but they expect you to do a turntable set. Or they've seen you party rock, but you got to party rock on a controller, which I mean you could probably do 80% of what you could do, but that's that 20% that separates you, and Shit, what was the question?
No, that was it. How has it kind of changed over the time? And you touched on it. I mean, I and my close friends that are kind of in the chat and Wyatt, you're aware of this as well. But my first gig in a very, very long time happened this past weekend. First live gig. It's been just twitching in basements and all this kind of stuff for a while. And I got to use the Rev 7 for the first time, and I was like, "What is that?" Because I've used my original Tech 12s that are just like I said, they were dusty for 20 years, and now they're chugging along, barely holding on. But the control, I have to say, it was so slick. It blew my mind. It was really nice, but at the same time, like again, it's that 80% rule, like you're saying. There's a little more comfort that I have when these turntables are.
I'm exactly the same. Yeah.
I personally always loved I love controllers for a fast small gig that you just have to go in and you have to set up and you're like, all right, I got to plug this in quick. It's a small area, but true. I'm always to my S9 in my turntables. Like you guys said, there's 80%. That other 20% is just. That's what that other 20% is what lets me have fun.
Exactly.
At my gigs.
Yeah. A little more freedom. Yeah. And and it's not all knock it either, because I'll tell you, I enjoyed it this weekend. Like I really had a good time with it. It's not what I'm used to. So if I started on a controller, you're damn right I'd love my controller second to none. Like I totally get that too.
Also in the beginning, think about it. I mean, I was weirded out by Serato started because it was so new, but I was so happy when Dicers came along because I was like, oh my gosh, now I have cue points. I have a roll right here. You know, before I forgot what Vestex mixer I had, but it was a red one and I forgot what it was, but I was able to MIDI map it. And, you know, you could use your pads, but before we didn't have any pads. We were taping stuff. We were listening to stuff in our headphones. Like our cue points weren't press of a button. So for some of us, so much has evolved, even beyond controllers, you know, like going from, you know, there's people that still had knob mixers and we're still, you know, at a ballpark, throwing down some break beats and everything, and people were bebopped. And I just feel like there's been so much over the years, like, the controllers, are the top of it, but again, I'm sticking with my turntables all the time, man. I love them. I can't.
Still love them too.
Hey, well, I still remember having to sticker my records for my routines.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, I saw a video of that.
Which we were actually going to play that video shortly, and hopefully, you know, StreamYard is going to be forgiving, and we'll actually get to play the video, and it won't stutter. And so, you know what? I actually forgot to mention who my co-hosts are. So I want to introduce you to DJ Close-Up, who's based there in Canada, and DJ Flip, based there in the US of A on the East Coast. Both gentlemen I've had a lot to do with in terms of Twitch. And thank you very much for coming through and co-hosting this show along with Manchu and DELightfull.
Hey.
Question.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, DELightfull, did you have any DJs or producers that you would hang out with in your early days? Guys that you think would have helped you a lot as a DJ, or were you more of a loner and you basically watch videos and just practice on your own, or maybe a combination of both?
I guess the first few years it was mostly on my own, and later on, I mean, strictly in terms of cuts and whatever, it was definitely on my own, and then slowly starting to chat with some people online. And in those years in Vienna, which then much later, that was when I was doing the battles, mostly 2019, 20 during lockdown. I was very, very lucky to be able to hang out with Chris Baker, somebody that many people don't know, but is really holding it down in Europe. He's part of a dope label that's really kind of taking over Austria with the newer hip hop stuff, but he's also part of a three-piece band. They do their own music. They perform 6 turntables, and they've taken turntablism to bigger crowds than a lot of people have ever been able to in Europe with their own music, not in a club setting. But he's a super dope cutter, and he's one of those guys who knows how to do things from slow to fast and really break down what's going on. And sometimes to have, you know, not just someone that is dope, someone you link with on a personal level, and on top of that, somebody who also can explain as well. That's a blessing. So much love to Chris Fader.
Matt Chu, same question to you.
Yeah, I would have definitely been a loner. When I started getting into the battle scene, I didn't really. Oh, actually, I didn't know anyone. But I was just practicing on my own. My wife always tells a story of how like when she was asleep, and this is all you heard. And she got so used to it. You're like, you know, she could sleep all night, and that's what she heard. Like, and this was going 24/7. You know, so I just did everything on my own. Watched the little videos that were online. A lot of the DMC videos that were coming out at the time. I watched a lot of that. So, I'd say a lot of my influence came from overseas, just watching what they were doing, and then trying to emulate that, and then come up with my own style. So I think
I think loner seems to be the the vibe here. I know that that's how I learned a lot of my stuff. I had a lot of friends close by that were into the scene, but it was just practice in the basement, right? Like just going at
Yeah.
it until you figured out your vibe,
Yeah.
and your technique and your styles or what have you. But to that kind of that angle there from a technique standpoint, not the brand, but the actual scratching. Do you
Yeah,
have
exactly.
a go-to? Like, do you have like I guess your favorite technique when you're on the ones and twos? Like, what would that be?
Like a scratch technique or something? Or just,
Yeah.
oh man, I don't know. It's really these like this. Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
No.
Oh, you can't. Okay, never mind. I
Maybe
do like
what's your
this.
go-to technique? Maybe not favorite, but what one do you find you access more often than not?
I do like this. You know what? I don't even know what it is. It's like a.
That's perfect. We'll never get
I remember messaging D Styles and I was like, "Can you tell me what my scratch is, please?" And he was like, "It's kind of like a triple orbit, but with a something." And I was just like, "Oh my god, I don't know what the."
You just made something up. That's perfect.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." But that's kind of where my hands go. They just kind of do that when I feel like I'm in my little zone.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so yeah. But
For
just
sure.
having those combos is cool, you know, having all different kinds of combos.
Knowing you can get back to it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Delightful. Right over to you, sir. Is that even a question that you're like, I have no idea how to answer it?
Oh,
In
sorry.
terms
I
of
think, well, close up. That was you. I think I couldn't hear if you asked something. Sorry.
Yeah, no
What was the
worries,
question?
no worries. It was from a like your favorite scratch technique to go to, I guess, or if it's not your favorite, the one you go to more often, I guess, rely on more often.
Well, I think we lost him. We did too. Yeah.
Who,
I think
me?
we've lost Paul Delightful.
Oh, is it something I said? You think?
Shame. You know what? I got a feeling his device that he's tuned into, it's run out of battery. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I said he had to plug it in.
That's
So.
That's a
But
bummer.
the show must go on. The show must go on. Well, hopefully we'll see him back soon. So, question for you, Manchu. What would you credit with helping you to progress the most over those years that you've been practicing and competing, and even now on Twitch?
I'd probably say my wife, just like she's been there since the beginning I started. So I mean, like, not when I was a kid, but she was there when I started doing the comps. And yeah, so we've been together at least 25 years now. So but yeah, I credit her because she's taken all the crap. She's taken me not being there, doing the long hours of practicing. And she's always supported me for that, which has been really cool for me. And for me to be able to just let loose and do the things that I love, and she's there to support, So yeah, I credit her. Not so much DJs and stuff, was just because she's been there through all the highs and lows. Yeah, so yeah, I picked my wife.
It's a good choice sometimes for.
So maybe I might be able to go out this Friday.
So I just got a message from there he is. He's back again.
Oh.
There he is. We'll add him to the group very soon. There we go. Welcome back. Technology. It's great when it works.
I told you I just moved in. There's no studio yet. There's no nothing. Plus it's early morning, so my apologies.
No worries.
I was using DELightfull. Unbelievable. So I'm just using my phone now. Yeah,
let's talk about
sorry about that.
DJ competitions.
No problem at all, man.
No problem at all. Yeah, let's talk about DJ competitions, right? So, when and where was your first DJ competition, Delightfull? If you can hear us.
That must have been 2018. 2018 Vect's battle for Noob Supremacy. This is the name he chose from this battle. And he did scratching and juggling separately, like 2 different categories. I did the juggling, and it was online.
Was that on Twitch by any chance? Or we were...
Yes, he was streaming on Twitch. That was my first time entering Twitch as well. I didn't know what Twitch was before that.
I wanted to do a special shout out to Vect as well. You know, like he's amazing. He's involved there. He runs a channel, Vect. I think that's how you spell it. And he offers free advice and has like these battle competitions on Twitch. So if you get a chance, I'm going to put the link in there. If you get a chance, please make sure you visit him. Especially those that want to learn a lot more about turntablism, and that he is a grassroots dude, as well as a world champion. I forgot when he was the world champion. I think it was like 2016, 15, maybe around there.
He was many times, but he was 2015 DMC 6 minute, and he was world champ with Fresh Riddance a couple of times. He won Supremacy in 2012 also.
That's it. So yeah, we love Vect. I'm in and out of his channel all the time trying to get free advice. Shout out to DJ Sunny Day as well, and Diamond Lee, Thailand NASCAR. Thank you very much for coming through, and Juice on the loose for Usher. Manchu, tell me back in the days when your first DJ competition was, and where was it?
My gosh, I feel old now. I think my first one was 2001. Oh man, I think. Down the box.
Man.
So there used to be the box down the high street, and they had a scratch.
I DJ'd there.
That's great. Oh, sheesh.
Same show, right? It was the same show.
So yeah, they had a scratch comp down there, and I remember I was in the finals and I did it. You know, I thought I had lost, so we gapped it up to McDonald's up the road. And I get a call, oi, you have to come back because they've tied you guys. And I was like, oh, shit. So, yeah, we rushed back and, I ended up just doing a freestyle scratch and I beat the guy. And then from then on, that was my first ever comp.
Why did you think you lost? What sent you to McDonald's?
I don't know. I just... It's funny because a friend of mine had video footage of it, and I watched it, and I was like, "Ooh, yuck, no wonder." You know, and I thought, I felt like I had lost. I just like this guy had, you know, all his friends there screaming and all this, and it was just me and my missus, you know. So
Ooh, yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh man, like, you know, we're like, oh, let's go, and then had to come back, and I was like, oh shit.
Nice.
And then
you walk through that with your shoulders back to that front door, like, what's up, everybody? I'm back.
Yeah. And I think they waited like 20 minutes. I felt so embarrassed. I was like, I'm so sorry. But it all worked out in the end, and
yeah.
And that's when everyone kind of started hearing the name Manchu, and then I keep popping up in all the comps and winning them, and then the big one came, ITF, and took that one.
Actually, let's take this moment to just have a quick peek at some of the boys in action. One second.
Oh my God.
Hopefully this works.
I'm going crazy. I'm telling you, I'm losing it. Don't let the pressure make you panic.
Panic has another manic depressant. My mind stays the maddest. I'm gone with the wind. Brother who's insane. Psycho. That make me crazy. That make me crazy. That make me crazy.
That's so cool, man. It's so, that routine is so European. It's like, you know, it's technical and musical, and, you know, it's like, oh god, it's awesome. I don't even want to watch mine.
No, I loved it too.
Appreciate
I
that.
was watching that recently.
Let's check out Manchi.
Niggas want beef. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Niggas want beef. Bring it on.
Actually, I really like that routine. So
I love that routine. Yeah,
stick
for
it for
2005.
days. They would stick it for days.
2005, I thought that was just that was amazing routine, man. Amazing.
And that was really cool because Rock Raider and Total Eclipse were the judges for their DMC, and because that beat is a Scram
Australia.
Jones, and I think Rock Raider was on there as well, and he'd come up and he goes, "Fuck, that was an awesome joke," and I was like, "I knew it."
You're like, I'm out.
I made up that juggle because I knew they were going to be the judges, and I was like, okay, I want to make up a juggle, and the track is a Kiwi track, so it's from New Zealand, Mariko, so yeah, it was perfect.
Nice.
That was a cool
Crazy.
track. I did notice that. I like how both those pieces of footage are incredible for their own reasons, but I like what you did with that. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, man. I just digging the plastic underneath. It looks like you've just recently cut it with a pair of scissors.
Probably, yeah.
You got the sticky tape on the stickers on the top, which brings back memories.
It was funny though because when I made that routine, I actually stickered it wrong, and
Oh, did you?
and when it came around, it looped it real nice, and I was like, oh man, and so I created half of that routine around that. It was just by accident it happened,
Wow.
and it worked out really well. And I was like, shit. So yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Close
Now, yeah. Well, I was actually going to ask about those records. How, as a turntable using actual vinyl back in the day, specific to you, Manchu, do your records, are they still in good shape, or any of them in good shape? Or did you take extra care of them when you were
no,
doing
I was terrible with records, man. Like now I wish I took care of them properly.
Me.
Like I just I sold most of my stuff years ago. Once I moved over to Serato, I left a few of the stuff that I had bought when I was over in New York and stuff, but apart from that, I got rid of everything else.
Okay.
But yeah, I wish. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I wish I took care of my battle records a lot better, because some of them are just so thrashed, man. It's like the whole record is like the R scratch. You can't even like make out it's an R scratch anymore.
No, I know. That's exactly. Again, half of the battle with me not getting back into this was because I wasn't a DJ, like a turntablist DJ, although I loved to pretend I was. But I would take care of my records like I was, and they would just all end up all over my damn room. And, a mess. And then I look back at them now, I'm like, there's so many great, like, this one came out the other day. Someone was like, they off there we are. The album, the Sound Bombing 2 or whatever that came out.
Yeah.
I'm at the wrong place here. But anyhow, and someone was like, are those actual real records? I'm like, yeah, but I can't promise it's actually going to work. It's like, it's going to be skips like left, right, and center. So, anyhow, enough about those. But, so we'll move on.
So being mindful of the fact that Paul DELightfull, his device is low on battery, I'm going to try and push the questions through a lot quicker so the boys can go off and do everything, yeah? So let's talk about competition, DELightfull. How many hours do you put into practice per week?
Oh man, so when I decided I'm really going for it, I felt like I knew exactly technically how far behind I am compared to the people I was going to compete against. And I sat down and started thinking like this, let's practice a certain amount of time for 2 weeks or 3 and see how fast I'm catching up. And I had a list of things I had to learn. and see if that works, or if not, just adjust it based on the fact that this is now, and I have about 5 months until battle season starts. So then I did that, and then I readjusted. And one thing I realized is that I'm getting too distracted with stuff. So I went kind of militant. I was like, turn off Wi-Fi on the phone and use a stopwatch so that I count my practice time, not just look at the clock. Oh, I practiced from 2 to 5, but half of the time I was doing something else. I was stopwatching 3.5 hours per day with one Sunday every 2 weeks break only for about 5 months before the 2021 season.
Dedication.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Man, sure.
It was also locked, and nobody knew what was going on, and I felt that was the best way to use that time.
Good point.
Leading up to, well, when you were competing, Manchu, how many hours would you put in?
Yeah, hours and hours, man. Like, I was pretty much the same as DELightfull. So I kind of had, a kind of outlook on I kind of knew what I could do and what I couldn't, and who I was battling. So you know, having that, like, and then just the practicing. It was, it was every day, just non-stop, but not just practicing for the sake of practicing, you know, like going through the battle records, going through beats, you know, thinking how can I be a little bit different, you know. So yeah, it wasn't just having a jam and see what happens, you know. It's really thinking about things and how to, well, you know, where to place stuff, you know, and then and like DELightfull said, you know, you train months beforehand, you know. So when you actually you spend most of that time just coming up with your routines, even really loose routines that you can actually, you know, fine tune later on.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, the last maybe 6-7 weeks is just non-stop practicing, you know, 4, 5, 6 hours a day. Just, it's, and the thing is, I was really into that. That's what I enjoyed. It was like, you know, coming up with like a 6-minute DMC routine. It might sound, it's only 6 minutes, but you know, it could take you 3 months to make up, you know. So there's no guarantees you're going to make it up in one day. You know, I don't know anyone who can make a routine up in one day, but
no.
Yeah, but I mean, and that was it. Having just and having that dedication to do that is like another thing, you know, because I know there's a lot of DJs now, they won't take that time to practice as much.
Like me, yeah.
This guy right here. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like
It's all of us.
No,
the guys at the top, yeah.
But there's like practicing, you know, just to jam, and I get that. And then there's like turntablist practicing where you're actually, you know, coming up with a routine, you know, where to put your scratches, when to incorporate a juggle into it, you know. It's kind of, you know, it's really hard. And like Vic does it. He says, I watched one of his things, and he's tells you how to set up your routines to, you know, have kind of the big punch at the end and then the build up and all this. So
finishing move, I think that's what he calls it. So.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, you know. And having to put that time in it is where it pays off later on, you know.
It's funny you say that. I was kind of leading into my next question, when I was going back to my gig this weekend, because it was my first time in a while. I was kind of planning out what I was going to do for the night in my head. Like, okay, I'll do this block of X type of music to start, and then I'll you know, get a little bit more, you know, people on their feet, and then we'll kind of speed it up a bit. And I generally don't like to do that when I'm playing here online. I just kind of like to go on, have a kind of an idea, and then just play. But if you're competing, you probably need to set it all up like that. And so I was wondering, you touched on it already, but like a little bit more on, you know, what goes into that? How do you, like, what pieces do you put into the overall puzzle to make it complete? What little site, like you said, you have a juggle routine, you know, a scratch routine. What other things that you might consider when you are putting together your champion set, if you will?
musicality, original moves.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard
Manchu, you go,
because
man. Sorry.
oh, sorry. It's hard because like I kind of just thought about how like I knew who I was competing against, so I knew what I had to do and what kind of um, juggles and scratches that I had to have to win. And one of the guys, DJ CXL, he was kind of like the main one who I had to beat. And so I had like I knew I had juggles because I knew he could scratch really well. So I figured, okay, I've got that on him. So I just needed to come up with some banging juggles, and then I can my scratching wasn't like it was good, but wasn't as good as his. So if I could incorporate some real hard tight juggles,
Yeah.
then they would see that, and that was the plan, and I went in. I think I went in with like 12 routines, and like having each routine like was better than the next. So it wasn't hard for me to be like, oh, which one should I use for this guy? It was like, okay, I'll use this one because I know I can use this one for the next guy, and
Right.
that was the kind of mindset, and just building those routines up. But like in ITF, I think they were like only 90 seconds. So it was like you just had to come out fire straight away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was every routine. So yeah, it's hard, but it's fun, and it's definitely a lot of fun, a lot of swearing, I think.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
lot of anger issues in the room by yourself, and timing as well, because you had 90 seconds. So you would come up with a routine, and it would be like 30 seconds longer than what you had. So
Yeah.
you had to cut it down, but still make it fire. So yeah, it's very stressful, but heaps of fun. At the same
But
time.
fun in the end, yeah. When you see the rewards pay up.
All right, I got some viewpoint
I hear you, man.
questions.
I
Right?
totally hear you on the time limits. Sometimes you have the best ideas and they work, and you know the different parts, and then it's 20 seconds longer than it should be.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just want to kill through the middle.
Yeah. You can't just take out a beat. It was part of the art. Exactly. It's like a stand-up comic set trying to cut a joke or two, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
this whole thing is artwork.
Yeah, and if it's
Sure.
really technical, like you have to pull it off, otherwise it's not gonna, it's just not gonna work. It's like that's why I see like Rafik and all them and what they do. It's like, oh my god, like, because their stuff is laid out like so on point that if you miss it, then you've missed the whole thing. It's kind of like how their records are laid out. It's like, oh man, too much stress.
Yeah.
So I want to welcome all of those that just joined us. M. Lewis, Terry the Angel as well. Thank you so much for joining the show. We are currently hosting World DMC Champions. We've got DJ DELightfull from Bulgaria, now based in Kuala Lumpur, and DJ Manchu. Welcome in. I've got some viewpoint questions for both of our guests here. So I'm going to fire them off at both of you, right? DELightfull, your favorite scratcher in the world?
Ooh.
Scratcher. Off. Bro.
It's tough, isn't it? There's so many good ones and they're different. It's like me asking you, what's your favorite fruit?
Yeah, or your
I'll
favorite
ask you-
citrus fruit.
Yeah.
It's
Manchu?
just impossible to say one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's fair.
I knew that question was going to be probably a not good question to ask, but I wanted to ask it anyway, just to see if I can get something.
Yeah, I would.
Manchu, you got a favorite scratcher?
Oh man, I'd probably say technical wise, Rafik.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because like for me, these like technical scratching and then these like party rock scratching.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rafik for like technical, and I don't know, Scratch Bastard for his. He's got real funky cuts. I like how he.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah. I agree. I was watching some of his stuff recently, where I was like, it's not the most perfect. Like I've heard better, but we're having a jam here. I'm watching this guy. Kind of back to you, DELightfull, on the maybe not your favorite, maybe some of your favorites that stand out.
Favorite juggler in the world? DELightfull.
Or some of your favorite. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Jugglers. Petrix, Vect,
Vic.
Junior Flow, Lil Jazz.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely all the
Junior Flow,
executioners
Canada,
like
stand up.
Pintown.
Yeah, man. It's been a while since I've heard that.
Definitely all the executioners. Babel, of course. And
Mhm.
right now, I gotta say JFP and Taiji from Japan is getting
Ah,
intros.
yeah.
Lots of people just don't really do what I consider juggling, but that's a different topic. I think I mentioned enough names.
Yeah. I'll do my homework.
I'd go DJ Precision from New York.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
is he from New York?
totally, man. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Precision
bad.
is a beast.
Yeah, he's just a freaking next to that, man. Yeah, probably him. Yeah, no, I actually just like him, mate. It's just, I mean, I like Babu and all them, but just, yeah, I just like Precision. His stuff.
I'm
is just
checking out
crazy.
Precision. I don't know Precision, and you'll learn that if you know me at all. I don't know a lot of things that I should, so I'm going to check out Precision immediately after this. I love
You should
him.
check out his DELightfull Saturday
Oh,
juggle.
you're talking to the right person, my
Yeah,
friend.
he does a
I'm
Saturday
probably
juggle,
the
which
biggest-
is insane, man.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay, thank you. DELightfull is up there in my heart, my friend, so I'm happy to check that out.
Favorite party rocker? Club DJ? I don't care what it is. Doesn't have to be hip hop. Can be house.
Oh, me? You? Yep.
Delightful.
Crash Tested, I say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, I don't want to say craze now. I don't know, man. To be honest. Yeah, no, I'd have to say craze because
Yeah.
when he played CC Peniston at the Do Over,
Yes, yes.
that just blew my mind. I couldn't get over it.
And when did he do that? Mention. When did you see him do that?
So he played at Do Over here in Auckland, and that was like one of the first few tracks that he played. He was doing like a kind of housey set, and then he played CC Peniston.
I love it.
Finally, he did CC Peniston.
Well, you have to. Yeah, come on. Now.
All the drag queens stand up. Let's go.
It was.
How long ago was that, though, Mention?
Oh, that would have been a couple of years now. It was like a afternoon.
3
one.
years?
Yeah, maybe
3
maybe
years.
3. Yeah. It was just it just bugged me out, man. Like I couldn't believe it.
What
But-
bugs me out is that he was somebody that I rocked out to in my early life of loving turntablism before the dust settled, and I love that he's still entertaining you to this day. 2 years ago, and he's blowing your mind. Like that's what I mean. That's the stuff that.
Yeah, but that's what
that's
DJing
incredible.
is, you know. Just
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Don't stop.
I'm sorry, close up. I've been hijacking on the all the questions here.
No, it's all good. It's all good. This is your viewpoint section. You run through, baby. I'm just here to chime in.
Stems. Are we going to see you guys incorporating stems into any of your routines and Manchu into your party rocking sets? So, Delightful. You thinking about incorporating stems into any of your routines?
I don't know yet. I mean, talking about battling, I still don't know if I will battle. Probably. I don't know. I will try them out soon. Like first things first, I need to furnish this and make a studio. Then I'll think about the rest.
That's fair.
Manchu?
Got to make the home a home.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Actually-
well, I've already started using stems, so and like I think it's crashed twice on my Twitch because it's the beta version. But but yeah, it's cool. I mean, I do a lot of acapellas and stuff before that anyway, so it was like like I said earlier, it was just nice to be able to use those acapellas that I don't have or I couldn't get or weren't on as an acapella. So it's nice, but definitely use it. It's just another tool to have, so why not use it?
Delightful. How's the house looking? What have you got in there so far? Like how far have you got your studio up and going yet? Like how far are you in terms of moving in?
I bought the king size table because I'm done using table that doesn't fit all the different setups I come up with.
Yeah, no.
But no monitors yet. I just have one turntable, one mixer right now set up to put on headphones and have some fun. But there's a lot to do still.
What? Sorry, when did you move in?
2 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
I
Yeah.
came to the city 2 weeks ago, but I moved in this place a week ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Still just getting in there. Well, good luck, man. It's never easy.
And like, so, you know, coming from Bulgaria to Kuala Lumpur, you know, the other side of the world, what was that like in terms of adapting to the culture and people and the language? And
I've been around a little bit, so not too unfamiliar. I lived and worked in China for a couple of years, and
oh wow,
I just spent a few
you do
months
there?
in Sri Lanka before I came here. Sorry?
What'd you do in China?
I was teaching kids English.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, full-time job and training certification since that. That's my other career actually. But yeah, it's different because it's a megapolis, it's a massive city, and the culture is pretty much car, shopping mall, car, office. I'm a bit more of a nature lover, so I miss parks and just being able to walk around. But I still don't know much. Like I've spent most of that time trying to find things I need for my new home. I can't say anything more yet about the city. But
Wow.
people seem lovely, honestly. Food is amazing, and I'm happy so far. It's still very new. I can't say much more.
Awesome.
Welcome in Pacific Love. Where are we? I've got to ask this question right. This is a bit of a dicey one.
Ooh, I like those.
Right. So I chat with, you know, a few of the guys on the inner circle, you know, with DMC competitions and that, right? And they always moan and groan about the competitions being rigged. That you have to know someone, one of the judges, or at least, you know, on a personal level, or, you know, kind of be on the good side to get voted in. What's your viewpoint of that? Am I going to get any sort of juicy response?
Oh man, I don't. Oh,
Manchu, is it rigged? Really?
well, there was the 2005 World DMC when I Emerge and DJ Akakabi did their
Yes.
did their battle. I think it was the battle for supremacy.
Yep.
And everyone thought that I Emerge won it, and so there was a big kind of hoo-ha on stage and everything. But looking back at the videos, like a couple years later, Akakabi was dope, man.
Yeah.
He really like.
He is my favorite Japanese DJ.
Yeah, his one was kind of more. He was more the crowd favorite, whereas I Emerge was just fucking technical to the days. But he was a bit sloppy, and I don't know. Maybe I thought that I've judged a few comps, and I think, and my thinking is, if you're going to be really technical, you got to pull it off. Like if you think you're on that kind of technical level, then it has to be perfect, you know.
Yep.
And I don't think he did that, you know. So, but yeah, that was. I mean, judges were going. Oh, I think they were going for I Emerge because of who he was, and he was supposed to be. Oh, I think he won the DMC anyway, but he lost the supremacy. But yeah, I think he was touted to win the whole thing, and then that kind of, you know, put a nail in everyone's coffin and stuff, whatever. And yeah, it did get a bit heated. Everyone was kind of, you know, getting a bit angry about it, but I Emerge was fucking angry as shit, man. Like he thought he had won it, so yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, I mean that's probably the juiciest DMC thing I could tell you.
I'm just thinking about Stevie V. Oh God, what's his name? Stevie V.
yes.
You know that one as well.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
there's been quite a few times when, you know, DJs that almost like everyone has said, yeah, he should win, and they didn't win it. Delightful. Your viewpoint on that? You know, are DMC competitions rigged in that you have to know the judges and be on a good relationship with them, and you know, to be able to pull off a win.
Keep in mind, we're still competing, right? You can always talk about the ones from 10 plus years ago if you want.
Yeah.
None of the ones that are current.
Right. No, look, I
That's a
have
bad joke.
I have three things to say. Number one, I spoke to Cutmaster Swift, and he told me that people are still angry and messaging him or whatever, chatting online about the '89 World Finals when Aladdin should have won.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm like, dude, it's 2022.
Get over it.
And
Well-
this battle happened before I was born. Bro. So
his
if
Rock
their
the Bells,
mixtape been
his Rock the
rigged
Bells
before I
routine was fucking
born.
amazing.
But yeah, so that's thing number one. This has been going on since forever, and it's just mostly nonsense, I guess.
Yeah.
Subjectivity is human subjectivity, you know, and emotions are emotions at the end of the day. But it's tricky about judging. Two more things. So first of all, I don't like it when battle platforms ask straight cutters to judge juggling or supremacy categories
Yeah.
or vice
Understood.
versa.
Yeah.
Having
agree.
like showcase 6-minute DJs, like I mean people who won 6-minute categories and kind of these jugglers judging the freestyle scratching competition. That doesn't make sense. And that really kind of messes up the results sometimes because you shouldn't really judge a category that you're not highly proficient in, whoever you are, really. That's my opinion. And the third thing I want to say is that as far as just knowing the judges, I don't think this really exists. I don't think they're rigged. What I do see sometimes is people voting the DJ from their country. And it happens with Brazil, happens with Japan, maybe happens with France. So this is also bullshit. And if somebody who's doing it is watching this, stop doing it.
I love it.
It's easy. I love it.
Perfect. Welcome in,
Look at that.
Pacific Love and Negative Jeff. Great to see you both. Thanks for joining our show. What words come to mind when I talk about the following DJs? Just pick up one word. Jazzy Jeff. Delightful. Jazzy Jeff. One word.
Classic.
Manchu?
Sheesh. Awesome.
Sheesh. I'll take sheesh. I'll take awesome. as well. DJ Rock Raider. Delightful.
Character.
Laughing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manchu?
A pioneer.
Nice. Delightful. DJ Craze.
Beast.
Goat.
Manchu.
Goat.
All right.
There you go.
And JFB. JFB. Delightful.
Protein.
Manchu.
Hi. Fucking hell, man. That guy. That guy's crazy.
Yeah.
No man, shout out JFB. I have a story. That's why I said protein. I was in Brighton for the community scratch barbecue organized by Scratch Lords, and I went to JFB's crib to put up, and we hung out. He's a super nice guy, and it was time for lunch, and he said, "Wait, I'll fix something. Let's get eggs. We need more protein. Let's put some of that. That's also more protein. You need a lot of protein." I was like, okay, that's how you win that. You mind your diet. You go on extra proteins to to stay fit. I just found it very funny. I'll remember this forever.
I got a
I've
question.
gone all over. I've gone all over the place close up, so I've messed
all
up
right.
our flow in
No,
terms
no,
of
no.
questions. So
I
pick
don't
and
know.
choose.
Can you still
pick and
hear me?
choose. Yep.
Okay, I'm down to one AirPod, but the other one's charging. This one isn't on the list, but I had a question in terms of your favorite album put out by a turntablist, whether it be produced and or even just like a mixed CD, like Duck Season by Babu, or In 12s We Trust by DJ Revolution, or things like that. It could be across the map, but definitely heavily influenced by Turntablist.
Oh, I would have to say the Return of the DJ editions. They were like, just blew my mind.
Yeah,
I still listen
you
to
can
them
do that?
today.
Yeah, man.
So
Same.
yeah, Return of the DJs. Awesome.
And
albums.
this also is not excluding mixtapes as well. And you can revisit that answer if you want, Andrew. Not that you need
Man,
to.
on top of my head, I guess Cut Chemist and Shadow Brain Freeze and product placement.
Nice.
The breaks in Hi-Fi J Revolution.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
see.
that's a good one.
Which one? Sorry, by Revolution?
And
The breaks.
the breaks in Hi-Fi. The breaks in High Fidelity.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Noisy Stylus debut album. That's just beautiful.
Okay. I'm writing all this down or rewatching or something. Thank you.
Let's
Yeah,
skip
Table
right down
Manners.
to the
Table Manners is the name of the album.
table manners.
Table Manners?
Yeah.
I'm writing it down. Yeah.
Let's
Because I'll
talk
forget it
about
if I don't.
talking about the future, gentlemen. In terms of DJ competitions, do you think DJ competitions will go back to being live, or a combination of being live and being pre-recorded stuff? What do you think?
IBA final is live this year.
Sorry, I missed that.
The IBA World Finals will be live this year already in December in
Nice.
Poland, Krakow. So they are going back
Back
to
in
live.
Poland.
I don't know about DMC. I don't know what's DMC's plan. 9 categories every year, 7-month battle season online. I'm not cool with that. But
I'll find out.
That's the plan.
Because I think the next show I'm going to be doing about turntablism, we're going to have, hopefully, fingers crossed, I've talked to Christy Z. So I'll find out from Christy. Yeah, find out, what they're doing at the competitions. Manchu, what have you got planned for the next, say, 2 years? I mean, what goals are you setting up, and where are you looking to focus your energies?
So yeah, all my energy is just going to be on Twitch right now.
Nice.
It's pretty much my own, it's my income. Like before COVID hit, because I was working at the radio station for like the last 15 years. So I left the radio station I was at to start my own radio station, and then when COVID hit, it completely stuffed me up. So having this avenue now to make an income on Twitch has been good. It's hard, but it is doable, So I'm just trying to elevate that more over the next year.
Nice.
Trying to get a bigger income. I'm making enough that I can pay my bills, take the kids out. It's okay, but yeah.
Do you mean you can actually make money on Twitch?
Yeah. So, yeah. You can. It's quite buzzy. Yeah. So I mean, it's there. I just need to tweak things a bit better, and a lot with Twitch is just consistency and being on it. So
Every day.
And but I kind of was thinking of Twitch on the kind of gaming side, and not so much as a DJ, so like they game for like how many hours in the day, all day, and and I don't think that's what I should be doing as a DJ. Like I can devote so many hours of my day to Twitch, but a lot of it is behind the scenes anyway. I mean, I'm sure with creating stuff, templates and overlays and
Yep.
crap like that. But yeah, just yeah. But Twitch is my thing right now, and yeah, just hope to get a bit further into it, and yeah, make some good money.
Special shout out to DJ on the ones and twos and Negative Jeff for joining us. We have a show. We've got World DMC Foundation champion DJ DELightfull joining us, as well as 2004 competitor and New Zealand DMC champion Manchu. We're going to actually, you know what I should do? I'm going to drop their links, their social links in the chat. And while that's coming up, DJ DELightfull, what have you got planned for the next couple of years? What's your focus?
I've got virtues and hydroplanes to learn. Apart from that, I'm looking to play some gigs here live, hopefully find some spots that want me to play what I want to play and make a little bit of a difference to the overall kind of EDM-based scene in Kuala Lumpur. And other than that, the main efforts now go in my project called Starlight with a veteran producer from Bulgaria. We're doing instrumental music, our own music that's heavily scratch-based. And we released a couple of tunes.
On Bandcamp, right?
A couple of tunes on a 45. Yeah, it's all on Bandcamp.
Yep.
And the 45 got sold out. We're going to do a repress. And we're looking for an able to press our album. And spring next year, I will be going back to Bulgaria to tour the album locally. And so, yeah, that will be a debut album for me. But that's where it's at, because we did in September, we did some shows and promoted the 7-inch single, and having a crowd of 60, 70, 80 people with all of them there because of your music is a whole different feeling than doing DJ sets. And I realized that this is what I want to do. This is what I want to perform. So apart from battles and just keep on learning cuts and juggles and trying to be doper and exploring new technology and new options as well, the Starlight music is main course on the menu.
How long do you think, how many years do you think months or years do you think you've got left in terms of competing?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'll compete when I feel like I can do stuff I'll be happy with 10 years down the line.
Yeah.
When I feel I have stuff to show to people and to myself, kind of, then I'll sit down and do routines. If I don't feel like it, then I won't.
Nice.
I got a question.
Next question. Here we go.
What was tell me the last beat that you heard that made you step back? You're like, oh, that's going to be a banger. Or I'm going to incorporate that into my next set. So it'd have to be kind of somewhat current, I guess. Is today's music that much shit? No, I'm just kidding.
That's a good question. Is today's music shit?
No, that's a good question. There's
Depends on what shit
many
you
ways.
listen to.
Exactly. There's many ways to answer that. Yeah.
I don't think it's shit. It's just evolved.
I've gotten older.
Into shit.
I don't know, man. I like the new JID album, and there were a couple of beats and tracks that I felt I would play in a set, or I would even try to mess around with. There's a track with Mos Def that's pretty dope, and there is a track called Money, which has a very touching video, and I would mess around with that. JID is one of those guys from the MCs that are actually younger than me, who are just highly proficient in MCing, and they do stuff over beats that I also like, not only beats that I personally don't like.
Yeah, it's a perfect marriage.
Yeah, nothing really grabs me.
It's all good.
I'm still a 90s kid. So.
Well, the reason I asked that is that as a 90s, I would call myself a 90s kid as well. You got into it a little earlier than me, but I kind of just, turned off new music for a long time. So in not DJing for so long, a lot of shit that I'm hearing now came out 12 years ago, and I'm like, yo, everybody's like, yeah, I know. So like that's kind of, I'm rediscovering stuff that I think that a lot of people had been like in their back pocket for a long damn time. So that's the beauty of it, I guess, of being ignorant for that many years. But no, I occasionally I'll trip over a track that's come out in the last couple of years, and I'm like, people are like, you're close.
Any one of you boys using Phase? Yep. Manchu's using Phase. DELightfull, not your thing?
So, what's that?
Are you
Phase?
using Phase? Yeah.
No, I'm not using Phase, but I don't mind it. I mean, I just haven't. I think if you're a club beast, it's a good thing to have. If you're DJing 4 nights a week, it's a must-have probably. But I don't find a reason to get it. But I think it's a cool toy if you need it.
Yeah, I only use it when I go out and do my mobile. So other than that, it's just there charging. Or use it on Twitch now and then. So
shout out to Phase as well.
Yep.
I'm going to grab my remote. One sec.
So, Manchu, I'm taking over other people's functions here a little bit, but just if we have enough time, hopefully, I wanted to bring it back to the battle days and tell me, like, if you don't mind, how were the events happening? Give me an event description of the DMC battles, because I always hear some juicy stories about the organization being weird, about places being weird, and we very often hear about people preparing, thinking about their routines, talking about other DJs that they saw and were super inspired and stuff. But tell me about the events.
Yeah, so I mean, what would I say? Like, yeah, the organization is okay. I mean, who's the main guy? The old guy? What's his name?
Tony
Prince.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's funny because we met his daughter. His daughter's running the DMC, and like we were like, oh, it's really nice to meet you. And like the first thing she said was, oh, my dad's just the face of DMC. I was just like,
right?
Yeah, like he, that's all he is. He's just the face. It was just like, okay. But then we had we had some drinks, and yeah, he was pissed. And it was real funny. Like, but I mean, the organization was okay. They had like where we had been staying, they had some turntables in some of the rooms, which was pretty cool. So everyone could practice, but like everyone bought their own gear anyway, because I think then we were allowed to use other mixers for the Supremacy.
Yep.
So that was all good. But yeah, just I mean, it was just a fun time, It was like for me because seeing all these DJs that I had seen on videos and stuff, it was just a real buzz for me, and just to be able to be there, was enough for me. Like I knew I wasn't gonna win it, but if I could leave knowing that I made an impact, then I'm completely happy with that. Some of the prizes though didn't go to people. It was real out of it. Like, jackets, like some people didn't get their jackets. And that was like kind of like the first thing we all sat down and like, and all these boxes came out and they were like, okay, here's your DMC jacket and blah, blah, blah. And then there was like, a few other guys like, oh, sorry, you didn't get your, like, oh, we don't have a jacket for you. And that was kind of like, everyone was like there for the jacket. That's like the thing, like to put on the DMC leather jacket. Yeah, it was just like, but I got mine. I was like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was heaps of fun, but yeah. But I guess that's the thing with with most competitions. There's always going to be ups and downs and stuff. But definitely one thing I remember is how loud the sound system was. It was at Hammersmith, I think it was in London, and
so when you're doing your routine, that thing is blaring in your ears.
Oh my god! There's like, I think we had 4 monitors on either side,
Oh, shit.
and all you could hear was the stage. Was on stage. Like you couldn't hear anything. You couldn't hear the front of the house at all. It wasn't until we moved out to the front after and watched and who performed? Oh, I can't remember who performed, but yeah, we went out the front and oh my god, it blew your ears off, man. It was crazy. So yeah, but it was cool because I got a pair of free needles for making the crowd scream really loud. The guy came up and goes, "Oh, here's a pair of autophones." I was like, "Oh, what's this for?" "Oh, you made the crowd scream really loud." I was like, "Oh, you."
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, it's not like the online stuff, it's completely different. Like when you're actually, there,
They're live, yeah.
you just take it all in. Yeah, it was a really good experience. So yeah, hopefully you get to have you done a live one yet? Delightful. Have you done a live battle yet?
No.
Just all online.
No.
That's
Oh,
amazing. I want to be at your
Battling
first
during the
one.
pandemic
Come up
pretty
to
much,
Canada.
and
yeah. Oh well, hopefully you get to do a live one next year if you're battling. So yeah, it's another level, man. It's, you're like hearing your routine loud, it's just it's something else,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope you get to do that.
like, hope so too. Must be a different
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Sync button. Who objects against the sync button? Is that a lost argument? Delightful. You don't care about the sync button?
I have no opinions about the sync button.
Yeah. Don't care? Like
Nothing
me.
to say
I don't
about the sync button. That's it.
Manchu, you don't care about the sync button?
Nah, I don't care. It
No,
still
I
crashes
don't
if you use sync.
Yeah, actually, you know what? The thing that I noticed about people who make a big thing about the sync button is they're people that just beat mix and that's all they do.
Yeah.
No other schools other than that. So, like Jazzy Jeff said, who cares? Move on.
Yeah.
I've got no other questions, man. I've got some Twitch questions. So delightful. If I'm going to be chatting with Manchu about Twitch, feel free to stay. And then straight after here, we're going to be rating out to Master Rasta, which is probably about another 5 minutes. But I do appreciate so much both of you coming on. I really appreciate it, especially Manchu throwing you in at the last minute. Appreciate it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and big shouts from my perspective to Wicked for having me on here. It was really awesome to connect with the two of you and get to know a little bit about what makes you tick and what influences you and to know to look out. Like, Manchu, you're on Twitch. I'll be watching for your next set. And Delightful, I can't wait for you to come to Canada for a live set so I can actually see you in person too as well. So we're excited for both of you.
Dream, yeah.
So, one of the things about our show is we're trying to connect communities that don't really know about each other, are maybe even doing the same thing, but have not met each other. So I'm trying to do that connection thing. So we're probably going to have another Turntablist show coming up pretty soon where we'll invite guests. I'm trying to get Vect on the show. Christy Z has already said yes. So I'd love to have you guys back and talk more about turntablism and especially the DMC World competition and what's happening behind the scenes. Maybe we should get Tony Prince's daughter on, try and reach out to her.
Hard.
So this is the Phase remote. No, you're not going to see this anyway. The Phase remote. So you put these two things, on the record, and you don't need turntables, and they play. And great idea. I think it hails from France. The concept was developed by a company in France, and I've got 2 dead remotes right now that I've been meaning to. They've been dead for a year. I've been meaning to send it back and have massive problems with the help desk from Phase. So if you guys are listening in at some point, I'll send you some video. Please take these damn things back and fix them. And I've just bought the Innovator Plus, Mini Innovator Plus. I've got a Denon Prime 4 and the crossfader on my first one stopped working, so I took it back to the company I bought it off and they gave me a new one. and that one's just stopped working. So I've had to buy this. So Deanan, if you're listening in, can you please make sure?
Is this the part of
You
the
know,
show where we go through our
make
broken
sure-
stuff? Because I got a lot
Yeah.
of things I can
Please
share with you
fix the
guys.
damn thing, please. I don't feel like spending $200 on a.
I've got a dishwasher that
KitchenAid. It's KitchenAid. You guys deal with it?
Yeah. Any other complaints? Feel free to forward them to us. We'll give the company a shout out. Yeah, I'm going to change the name of my show.
Appliances that don't work.
Close up. Any last questions or closing remarks?
No. I steered away from some of the questions there, and I asked what I wanted to ask, and yeah, this is awesome. I really do appreciate you guys for taking the time, whether it be super early or whether you have no furniture, whatever the discomfort was. I appreciate it.
no, awesome.
And you know what? The title of the show is "Look Who's Coming to Dinner," and both of these gentlemen, I haven't even made them any food. Sorry, boys.
That's so good.
Delightful. You're in Kuala Lumpur right now. It's blazing hot. You're coming into summer. What are some of the things we're going to see you doing in Kuala Lumpur? Are you going to be networking with the local Turntablist community, doing events? Kind of what will you be doing over there?
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I'm looking forward to link up with even more locally. I'm looking forward to play some events, probably smaller places that have a vibe. And as I said, places that want me to play what I want to play. But also there's a huge b-boy scene overall in the region. I'm looking forward to going to Vietnam and Thailand and hit some b-boy events just as a spectator, really. Forget about the gigging and see what people are doing, how they're running their events, what music is being played. Also, Singapore, of course, has a ton of stuff going on. So I'm looking forward to learn and experience.
Nice. Massive shout out to Steve Hill there, based in Vietnam, and fully immersed in the b-boy scene and turntablist scene there. Manchu, yourself. What are you going to be doing? Am I going to see you? Oh, actually, question: when are we going to see you on Twitch next? What are your streaming days?
I'm playing tonight at 8. So I do Wednesdays through to Sundays, and I don't do Monday, Tuesday. So just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 8 p.m. till whenever. Just jam. Yeah.
If you have a
doing
look
the
in
conversion right now.
Yeah.
So if you have a look in the chat right now, we've got the links for both of these amazing DJs. Right down the bottom is the link to DJ Manchu's Twitch. At the top, going down, is all DJ DELightfull's socials. I will also drop some links in my channel and let you guys know. Definitely, we're going to see Manchu tonight for his stream.
Shoot, that's 3 a.m. my time, man. We're gonna have to wake up nice and early.
I'll wake
at
you
the
up,
end of your
don't
set.
3 a.m.
We'll have to sync it up at some point, Manchu.
Yeah, all good.
Deal.
So we're going to raid out right now to Master Rasta. Master Rasta is on Twitch right now. He has his own chat show, but his thing on Twitch is that he runs a help desk, which is available almost every day, pretty much. And the help desk, if you have any issues regarding the technical side of Twitch, if you can't get something working computer-wise, anything like that, he runs a free help desk service. Make the most of it while it's free.
Okay, that's
And
cool.
we're raiding up to him now.
Wicked, thank you for this. Great
You're
job
welcome.
organizing this, my friend.
I'm so glad that you came, you were able to come through and participate. We're going to get a lot more co-hosts coming through the show as well.
You're just not gonna stick with me? Wicked, I'm putting you on the spot here. Just kidding, that's good. I kid.
Right. We got
All right. Well, thanks for having me again, and peace. I'll
Thank
be
you
following
so
You're
much.
delightful. Take care, man.
on different socials.
For sure.
Well, you-
Breakfast time now. I'm going to eat breakfast.
what are you having for breakfast? What's for breakfast?
What's for breakfast? Nuts, dried fruit, oats, and honey.
Oh, that sounds so healthy.
All about healthy living, man.
All right, enjoy it, man.
Enjoy. Take care.
Gonna head up now. Peace.
That's
All
it.
right, take
All
care.
right, we're ready to up. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Manchu, thank you very much, brother. I
All
appreciate
good.
it.
Thank you for having me.
We'll catch you tonight. It's 3 a.m., right? Close up?
Yeah. You bet. I'm going to
Alright,
catch
guys,
you when
take
I
it.
wake up, man.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
All right, have a good one.
Take care, gentlemen. You too.
Bye. Bye.
Later, Wicked.
Later.
Good job, brother.